Welcome back to one of my favorite days. It's Lore Day. Project Lore Building. So, we have to figure out which one of these new abnormalities we're going to be working with. I'm thinking probably some of these down here. Some of the more interesting ones that we kind of just picked up lately. I'm also going to try to complete this mission. I can't make any promises. My main focus today is lore. Ooh, this one's a pretty decently long one. I'm excited.
An abnormality of despair that has gone through a repeated cycle of faith and betrayal, leaving only the emotion that is expressed through black tears. A hero of the past, who used to be a guardian of justice. She dedicated her entire life to protect the king, the state, the city, and the weak. The knight had to uphold the laws of God and the pursuit of valor, chivalry, and justice. However, after a long history, fraught with hardship and conflict, the knight realized, in retrospect, that nothing was truly upheld on her watch. The truth changed a lot of people. One who fought for good became evil upon realizing that there was no evil left in the world. One who dreamed of a world where everyone could be happy was tinged with greed and started to devour everything. Like them, so many things once thought to be forever constant faced changes and perished. Who said a knight never cries? Have you ever seen tears brought out by despair and not sadness? The endless stream of grief has long turned the eye sockets into hollow husks. Inside, black diamonds sometimes fall down like ashes. The will to protect seems to remain unchanged after all this time. Even in containment, it is still obsessed with the act of protection. All that remains is the hollow pride of a weathered knight, the tenacity of the hero who cannot leave the past behind is a pitiful sight. When justice turns its back once more, several dozen blades will rove without a purpose, in shame of failing to defend once again, and in rage against the world. The swords will eventually point at those she could not protect. The knight who wanted to redeem herself by saving others was now dishonorably called the Knight of Despair, forgotten from the people's memory, just like the others before her.
Wow, cool! I like this one. And it definitely kind of goes to show then, one, just how powerful they are, because they are a hero. They've been in battle. They know what they're doing. And two, I get it. Despair is a powerful thing. And yes, tears of despair and grief. It doesn't necessarily have to be sadness. It could just be out of frustration. So, I totally understand where they're coming from. Totally understand why it's so strong now, even though it's a war. It's kind of cool. It's really neat. I like the design of this one, and it's terrifying once it gets out. It also kind of sort of makes sense if we frame this, I should say, in what I've been kind of thinking about, which is possibly each of these is like a compartmentalization of certain feelings. This is the feeling of, I wanted to protect people, and people got hurt. And honestly, that fits so well in the story of A. If we are A. Still don't know. Not for certain. Unless there's like one moment in the future that like they hold up a mirror and they show us who we are, I'm not sure that we're going to ever really find out. But based on what I've seen so far, we're supposed to be A. Dealing with the grief or the sadness or the sorrow or whatever it is that we had done these horrible things in the past. Now, were we necessarily a bad person? I don't think so. We just kind of got lost and jaded, especially after we lost Carmen. And we were so focused on results, we kind of didn't pay attention to the people around us. And that happens. I mean, we've discussed that in the past. So I won't I'm not going to sit here and beat a dead horse. I'm not going to go back over all of that. But this night represents that part of A. The part that wishes they could actually have protected people and actually done a good thing. And they couldn't. So, now eventually you reach the point when you realize if there's nothing left in this world, I mean, who cares anymore? You just you turn into the thing that you always feared. And that happens too. So I think that's sort of what this represents, and it's so fitting now hearing that A is just now, we're on day 32? Just now in the lore, moving away from dealing with biologicals and now moving into creating machines, robots, androids, cyborgs of some sort. And the reason I say that is because this seems like the part of the lore where A starts to build all of the AI and all these machines and the Sephira that we've been dealing with. So, I mean, we see where B comes in. We still don't know who B is or what they look like, but we see where they come in to play now. They're their sidekick, their lab assistant, and they were always jealous of A. So as we kind of flesh more of this story out, you really get to see what these abnormalities and what the backstory kind of shows. If this is what I think it is. Now, just based on the fact that the design of them are so similar, I also want to see what's going on with the Child of the Galaxy. So let's take a look. Whoa. I actually never expected this one to be this big. Don't get me wrong, I love the Child of the Galaxy because it's really easy to work with and you can just boost your justice by just doing repression work with this thing constantly. But I didn't expect it to be important. Not saying the size of the paragraph makes it any more important or less important than anything else, but there's a lot to this one.
It was a night, veiled in gentle mist. A barefooted child was looking at me. He was crying, his dreamy eyes filled with sorrow. The sadness hanging on his face stopped me in my tracks. He said he lost something precious, and when I offered to help, he gave me a big smile. And I told him to stop crying, or I'll give you something to cry about.
No, I'm kidding.
A teardrop fell from the child's dewy eyes as stars showered from the sky. The world falls into a slumber, trapped in an ecstatic lullaby. That night, the galaxy descended with bare feet. An excerpt from the diary of an employee. It takes the form of a young boy with big eyes and skin that resembles the night sky. The child shows great enjoyment with talking and playing with others. He has a strong attachment to the act of making contact with another. If the child and an employee reach a certain level of intimacy, he will give a small pebble to the employee he now considers his friend. The employee will feel happiness and vigor while in possession of the pebble. However, this pebble will do more than just good if the employee happens to enter any containment unit other than his. If an employee in possession of one of the child's pebbles, the sign of their strong friendship, dies, he will show deep grief and sorrow for their loss. An excerpt from Employee's Diary.
I looked into the child's eyes for a while. I may have spaced out a little, but because his eyes were so dreamy, I wanted to pet him. But I remembered my coworkers telling me not to have personal feelings toward abnormalities. I told him my name. He repeated it with wide eyes, as if he found out a big secret. Each time he called my name, it felt like it became something more than just a familiar thing I had been living with. When another employee entered the child's containment unit, he did not follow that employee and looked for me instead. I felt basely triumphant after hearing about that. The kid follows me, not you. The moment I entered the child's room, he jumped into my arms crying. When I finally set him down, he shed a tear that became a small white pebble that fell in my hand. Please don't lose it, and don't give it to anyone else, the boy mumbled. Do you like it more than you like me? The boy quietly asked when I arrived after finishing working with another abnormality. I asked how he knew what I was doing, and he answered lightly, "Isn't it obvious? I know everything. Whatever you do, wherever you go." His gaze lay on the pebble. Then he smiled. His eyes gave me goosebumps. I tried to rid myself of the pebble, but I realized it was beyond my control. I don't get what I'm talking about right now, but you still treasure it, right? The child smiles at me. Smiles. 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 I can't get this pebble off of me. My only hope is to wait for the child to tire of me. I'm waiting for that day. But will it ever come? People tell me I'm an excellent employee. Idiots. They don't know a thing. Shut up. I can't take it anymore. I can't escape him. I thought I was in charge, but the truth is, I was just a pebble in his hands the whole time. Whatever I do, wherever I go, I hear his whispers. I have to end it, but I'm not even sure if I can. I came from afar. I'm so glad to meet you. Become a pebble, and let's walk the galaxy together. I hear his whispers and breath. Pitch black darkness follows, just like the night I met him.
Oh, boy, that's scary.
I mean, it's a decent abnormality to work with. But if you're actually considering this like their life, and they have to work with the same one every single day, and you slowly realize you can't get rid of something, and it's like that pebble will become such a heavy weight. It becomes an anchor pulling you down.
Oh,
especially if you feel like your personal space and privacy are being invaded because they know everything you do. But now, let's think of this from the aspect of what we were thinking about previously. I'm probably going to just cover one of my theories, because now that we're starting to branch out, I'm starting to get many other theories, but our prevailing theory thus far is that these are compartmentalizations of A's feelings. So if I go along with that, the child of the galaxy is one of those aspects of A's life where they don't want to be alone. And A is a bit of a jerk. A is like kind of one of those people who is a bit of a recluse, it seems like, a bit introverted, doesn't like to be around people, doesn't want to deal with people or their emotions. And I get that. I do. But with all of that said, What that kind of does then is it means that the only way A can really have friends is for A to be a bit invasive, let's call it. They're not trying to be mean or anything, but I think the only way that A feels like they can have friends is if they force people to be their friend. They kind of sort of put people in a situation where they have no other choice and they feel trapped. I'm almost wondering if that's not sort of kind of what happened to Carmen. You know, Carmen seemed trapped by the research, seemed trapped by the whole company. But maybe Carmen also felt trapped by A and some of A's actions. And A feels personally responsible for the loss of Carmen then. And if that's the case, then, I mean, we're staring at A's biggest, like, grief. One of A's biggest sins. So, even the Child of the Galaxy can hold some sort of importance, it kind of looks like. Rudolta of the Sleigh. Oh, this one's not as big as I was hoping that the whole this would be like a big paragraph. Merry Christmas. What? Oh, I guess it is all about Christmas. There's even Santa Claus. Cool.
An old card attached to the abnormality reads, Merry Christmas! Santa rushes along the night sky to deliver presents to happy kids who don't cry. Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, shines his nose so bright through the fog while tugging along a sleigh full of presents, guiding it along tonight. Every happy kid around the world deserves a present, don't they? From afar, the abnormality resembles Santa Claus atop his sleigh. But upon closer inspection, it is completely different from its description in common folklore. Contrary to the titular character Rudolph, the sleigh drags the reindeer along. We've observed the three different portions of the abnormality separately. Rudolph, an organic entity of colors of green, red, and white that appears to be a horse, or a deer, or a murder llama. You decide. Its muscles do not seem to move, but many of our staff report movement in the eyes. Some even say that they've made eye contact with it. There's a 30-centimeter hole in its abdomen. Armed employees later reported that the hole was empty.
What? Did they stick their arm inside of it, or... I'm sorry, I was going to continue reading, but I need a second. Huh? Okay, so Rudolph, or, oh, is that why it's Rudolta? Because it's Rudolph and Santa mixed together? Okay, that makes sense. But Rudolph is the murder llama portion. That's the horse, the deer, whatever this thing is. It has a hole in its abdomen. And it has gooey bits on its back, which I think is supposed to be Santa. Yeah, it looks like it's Santa. Ew, that's horrible. The fact that this thing is hollow, though, I mean, it seems like it seems to be hollow, but its eyes still move. Oh, God. That really puts the image into perspective a little bit.
Santa, a mysterious and transparent organic entity on top of Rudolph. It is full of what seems to be human organs, all of which function normally.
Okay. Again, let's pause a second. There's a membranous sac, a clear or transparent, I guess, technically, membranous sac that sits atop Rudolph, full of organs that work? I don't like that. Okay, whatever.
Unknown objects are carefully wrapped in gifts. Many employees tried to open these gifts, but failed. Rumor has it that they can only be opened on Christmas Day.
Oh, hold on. I kind of want to set my computer's clock to Christmas and see what happens. Something tells me it won't work. Like, I don't know if it's programmed in or, like, maybe there's a Christmas update for, like, Christmas Day and you have Rudolta, you can open the present or something. Or maybe it's a different abnormality because the presents are open or something like that. Like, it could be like a Nutcracker or like Tin Soldier Army in there instead. And those were the things that were in the gifts. And Rudolta is like nowhere to be seen because they're off delivering gifts or something. I'm not sure, but that would be cool. I kind of sort of want to like do that one day. I'm not going to do it right now because I want to do like more of the lore stuff. But one of these days, maybe even like on Christmas, I could come back and check this just to like double check. If someone reminds me, I'll do that. That's interesting. It kind of makes sense then why it's hollow. All of its guts are on the outside. Well, it just kind of goes to show that these abnormalities really are immortal, aren't they? I can't imagine that this thing would like the feeling of all of its organs being on the outside and its severed limbs being attached to the sled. Let's get a closer look at this thing. Yeah, and that's supposedly skin. So that's an opening. That's a hole. Oh, God, this thing's even creepier than I thought. And whatever it is, it can't move. Because, well, for starters, it's locked in place. But also, there's like nothing on the inside to make it move. It's all on the outside. And all there is probably like a little brain that's... Oh, God, this thing's horrible. No more. I hate it. Oh, I knew it'd be interesting, but oh, that's so creepy. So now let's finish this day. This day's going to be done. We're going to get the disciplinary mission done. Easy. Real easy. I don't guarantee it. It's not. Something's going to go wrong. I can feel it. I can already tell that something bad is about to happen. First step, though, is to get past this meltdown and get the bird back out. If I can manage that, I'll feel a lot better. Here goes my moment. This is my time to shine. As long as I kind of plan this out the right way. Now, the sad part is I have Diva in with their Frey shoots right now, but I think I can do this with Anthony too. I just need them to do horrible work with the fragment of the universe. That's going to set that one loose. The bird is officially out. I have to wait for Red's cooldown to be done. As soon as it's done, then I'm ready to go. Here we go. Now I'm going to request the bird, wherever the bird might be. It's got to be here somewhere. It's like, it's in that door. Got it. Okay, we have the bird. The bird's ready. Now, please let this work. Anthony needs to do work with the fragment of the universe. That work is going to be crap, but that's okay. Now, I need to send Haru in to do work here with the Scarecrow. Haru is too powerful for the Scarecrow, but also Haru will get the work done quickly. Because the second Red sees the bird will be suppressed. Red just does that much damage that fast. So these two need to get out before Red gets anywhere near the bird. I also need... I guess I need to take Nicole and kind of place Nicole in a safe space. Here comes Red. This is going to be quick. They need to get out right now. No, I don't know if this is gonna be fast enough. Bad day, bad day, bad day. Good day, but bad day. Oh, quickly before Red gets back. Okay, good. Scarecrow's gonna be out before Red gets back. That's good. That's all good news. We'll at least have one out. Oh, the fragment had an okay day. Please escape. Please, I'm begging you. Actually, no, we'll be fine. I just need to make one more thing escape. And Red has 3 on their meltdown, their Quiploff counter, so I'm fine. Even if this doesn't escape in time. Good, Scarecrow is out. I have most of my, like, heavy-duty units over here, so I can even back them up pretty good. Come on, Fragment of the Universe, you can do it. I have faith in you. Yes! It's out, and it's before Red got back. Oh, that worked so well. Now, what kind of damage does this thing do? Dark damage. Cool. I've got plenty of bullets. I will just lock and load. Wait. How's everyone in here doing? I don't want to lose too many clerks in the process of any of this. So, there. Everybody's pretty well protected. Gamma, stay away. You're not going to even help. You're just going to get in the way. Yeah. Oh, well, I probably don't even need to waste these bullets. I'm not sure anyone here is actually even taking damage. But just in case. That was so easy, so fast. There! They're all done. They're all back, all suppressed. That mission is finished. I told you it'd be super easy. You just have to plan ahead just a little bit. Well, a noon event happened. This day is gonna end before I get this noon suppressed. So it's not really that big of a deal, but I kind of wish I could have got it done before I got to that. I probably could have. I threw people in to get whatever boxes I kind of wanted, a little bit of extra of, just here at the end. So I probably could have avoided this completely if I'd really taken the time to just plan out exactly which boxes I wanted, because I'm kind of working with some of these abnormalities that I really don't need to. But I do want them to end quickly. Oh god, the Queen of Hatred went out. Oh god, no! That's 5 abnormality points! How bad do I want bald? I don't think I want it that bad. We know everything we want to know about this. I might as well have a different abnormality. So, instead of wasting any of my major agents bringing down the Queen and army, who's going to inevitably break out once the Queen of Hatred destroys enough clerks, I'm going to end my day here. And then I'm going to revert back to the memory repository so I can get at least a decent unit. Because we'll always have the Snow Queen, or whatever this one's called. Yeah, the Snow Queen. So I just need to make sure I buy all of my ego that I want. Speaking of ego that I want. Dang! Oh, I was so close. Oh, well. I'll get the olive gear. And then, yeah, I'll keep that. Cool. End the day! S! Nobody died! One got promoted. Who was that? Was that Corbinian? Of course it was. Their prudence went from 2 to 5 from working with the Scarecrow so much. Which means that this one doesn't actually matter, because I'm going to be reverting back. So, you might as well stick around and see, some of the story after this then. I will pick this one. And my dear employees, I do hope you all put on the gas masks we distributed to you before we enter. Sure, why not? I kind of want to see that one. But I do want to revert back. And I want to be careful of how I do this. I'm going to revert back. If I find that one again, I might pick it again. But I'm definitely going back.
I remember you, eh? You were a person with a warm smile.
I knew we were A! They're talking to us. They're definitely talking to us. This isn't like a flashback to Angela. This is now. I'm almost positive. A. Why did you never go meet it, even though you created it? Oh? Was I supposed to? Sometimes I wish I would say something, but I think they want us to kind of fill in the blank. Us to relate to A. Sometimes I just do goofy crap and just like, but I think this is supposed to be like, we get to fill in the blank. Why didn't we go? But A, surely you already know. Did you put in all that work for just a simple vending machine that dispenses soda at the press of a button? Wait. Does that mean we created the shrimp vending machine thing? Or was that metaphorical? I don't know. At the very least, you should give it a name. There is nothing I can do, even if you put on an expression like that. Confused? Bewildered? I don't know what other expression I have. Gorgeous? No, that's not true. But I would love it to be true. It's an unspoken rule that the creator names their creation. Okay. What am I gonna name it? Don't dump your job on someone else. You're the designer, after all. Go ahead and tell the machine its name. There. The door over there. Angela. Or Gebura, maybe. I don't know.
Well, that task I gave you was pretty easy, don't you think? Though, a couple times, you were too indecisive and passive. Next time, you should,
no. No next time. But also, I was not indecisive or passive. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I had a plan. Gebura, about this suppression plan you sent me, don't you think the scale is a tad bit too grand?
all right. Now move along if you spat out what you needed to.
Come on, you know a similar incident happened before. I'm the head of the welfare team after all, so I just felt I should point it out.
Yeah, got it. How about you head on back to your department now and lap up that coffee you love so much?
And another thing, some of the ego in my department seems to be malfunctioning. I'm sure you had nothing to do with it, right? Although your recent suppression was strangely quick.
I'll be sure to make it up to you. But if you press any further on this, those ego you value so much may be pointed at your head.
Aye, I'll be on my way then. Man, why'd I have to draw the short stick? The companions I have are either a hot-headed warmonger or some weird kids with unreadable minds. Tiffereth and Tiffereth? Or Hod! Hi! Talking about empty mind. Hello! No, I love Hod a lot.
It's been a while since I came down to the middle layer. Long time no see, Jessup.
Oh ho! Are you here to see Gebura? Careful what you say. You may just end up with a hole in your head. Take care.
Is that true, Gebura?
Oh, get lost, Chesed. Hod, what brings you here, hun?
So, it's about the suggestions you made involving the abnormality breach training. I feel it needs some adjusting.
Go on.
Well, if we were to engage in a head-on assault like you suggested, our employees would suffer heavy casualties around this section. I believe if we changed the training plan, like so, to be a more defensive stance here, the casualties would be lower. Does it seem all right?
But then...
Huh?
Aren't we being too nice to those abnormalities with this kind of response?
I'm sorry, but I don't understand.
Forget it. Since you're the head of the training team, your opinion is final, right?
I am, well, As long as you're willing to.
Do it.
Oh, thank you. See you later.
Pod,
Yes?
you forgot your report.
I could have lost it. Phew, I thought you were going to shoot me in the head like Chesson said. Thanks again.
Aw, Kapura has a soft spot for Hod, don't you? You can't help it. Either that or you are the perfect soldier and you respect the hierarchy. I choose to believe that you're a big softy underneath that hardened exterior. Otherwise, you might accidentally shoot all of us in the head, and I don't want that.
Hod's too soft. If I were head of the training team, I'd never act like her.
Okay. Oh, suppress 5 war abnormalities. It is getting more difficult. I told you we're gonna have to, let loose some pretty nasty ones. Oh, please don't let me have to do olives. How many missions is this for you now? Just 2. Boy. This is gonna be painful. Think of expanding disciplinary today? If you are, let's do it quickly. Sure. Why not? In the next episode. So thank you so much for watching this one. And remember to take care. And goodbye!